A few days ago, I reported on a story about this particular female pastor by the name of Jamila Gooden. Now, it is not uncommon to see black women, especially in African American dominated cities, to be either the pastor or the co-pastor or even the first lady. That is not what's uncommon here. What's uncommon is a woman pretty much making a threat to another woman over the pulpit. And what I'd like to do is to play the video right now to put it into context.
This week was a week of hell. It was hell. I never knew I could go through so much hell, Trina. It was hell. The woman from Atlanta that tried to come in between me and my husband. This woman says she's a prophetess. She got a word from my husband. I said, no, you ain't got a word for him. You got a word for us. Natasha Davis. I told you, I'm not your typical first lady. This first lady fight. And if I catch you in the street, I warned you. I warned you. I'm a Brooklyn chick. That'll never change. I'm just an anointed Brooklyn chick. And I'm coming for that.
Now, for those of you who just saw that, Jamila Gooden is really saying that another lady who is also a preacher is saying that she wants to pray for her husband, and to this pastor that's insinuating that she would like to have a relationship with the husband. And I could understand her being angry, but it does look very unprofessional as a female pastor to go ahead and make that threat over the pulpit, especially at a church that you are a leader or at least a part of the leadership team. So that's one thing. And to be fair to her, she did apologize. But this is something also happening with black women in these churches. I've also seen this particular situation where you have a group of ladies who are what I would consider dressed up as IG models, or women who are in, let's say, lingerie. Some of them could even look like what you would call strippers. And they have these red roses and they are turning up in church. Yeah, and this lady here has stilettos. Now, I don't want to really play the music and get a copyright, but this is something that you're also seeing at this particular church. And the ladies are looking, really provocative. They have their cell phones out, and astonishingly enough, these are not like young women, right? All these women are at least 40 and up, which would mean that they've grown up in church where it was more traditional. They've grown up in churches where things like this don't happen, and all the nine, right? And let me just talk about this, because these IG models are older models and things like this. Here's what the Twitter post said from the lady who shared this video. Women are running these churches into the pits of hell. Let me kind of break this thing down. Whether somebody feels that women are running the churches into the pits of hell, I don't really want to talk about that, because that could be somebody's opinion and whatever the case can be. But here's what I will tell you. Women do dominate the black church, all right? And when women dominate something, I've noticed in America is that you start to see, or this is as any group, you start to see things favoring them so much so that you can't criticize what's going on. So because black women support the church so much, and I'm not saying that every woman is having a church service like this, I don't believe that, but you do see rules becoming more lax. And do you see women having, more or less to have their spin on what they feel is happening? And again, like I talk about it all the time. Let me give you an example of what I mean here on this Kendra G clip, right? There's a lady who's never been married, but she wants to get a God-fearing man, even though she's never been married to a God-fearing man, but she wants to be married to one, although she has like kids out of wedlock. Let me play that clip.
So you have any kids? I do. I have 2 boys. My oldest is 12. My youngest is 1.
You have a 1-year-old?
Yes.
By the same man?
Yes. It just wasn't working out.
So
Long
when did y'all
story
break up?
short. In 2021.
Okay. Have you guys ever been married?
No.
No.
God fearing, absolutely. He has to be God fearing. And what I mean by God fearing is like, you know your Bible. You know what it's not, don't try to use it to manipulate me and get me to do what you want. Like, you actually practice. Granted, we're all gonna fall short. Because I'm not perfect and I'm not gonna ever make it seem like I'm just a perfect Christian. However, I do try to, do what's right and be right with God. He has to pray. He has to know how to pray. He has to know how to lead. He has to be a good role model because I have 2 young Black boys. So he has to be a good role model, although their father is in the picture and he's an amazing father.
You see, that's like having your cake and eat it too. It doesn't really, for a man, make a lot of sense to say that when you are kind of doing whatever you want to do and you're not really following the rules. That's just me personally. But this whole situation with these ladies who are going to church and they're wearing whatever they're wanting to and they look like, I don't know, IG models or strippers, it doesn't seem like these particular ladies are trying to set themselves apart. And that's something that Christianity really preaches on, that you should set yourself apart and be different from the rest of the world. It looks like quite the opposite. It looks like what they're doing is something that you can find in a Glorilla video or at the club. They're just making it the church service. And the reality is that who can come out and check them? Like, nobody can come out and say these things about Black women, because in the Black community, there's a big price to play for talking bad about Black women. That's why a woman made this post, because no man can come out here and criticize this, especially if you're a man that has a job. But here's what you've noticed. Wasn't no men in that church, right? And you shouldn't expect to find none either. And that's where men strike back. You see, women can do whatever they like and whatever they feel is plausible. And, if they think it's serious or foolish or whatever, it's up to them. But that doesn't mean that men are going to go ahead and back it. And for this, I agree. I think it is, what they're doing largely is very disrespectful. Disrespectful to, number one, themselves, and also the religion that they say that they're practicing. And it's very difficult for somebody to get out there and act like that and take it serious. It's pretty much like a church service for strippers or IG models or whatever else. But hey, if they like it, I love it. Guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.